Hello guys, welcome back to my channel On Table Board Games. I'm Joanna and today I'm going to take you to the dark and full of superstition world of Custodia, because that's where the action of the board game version of Blasphemous game takes place. So if I interest you, this board game version of Blasphemous, I leave you a link to the campaign of this board game in the description below. And now, don't cry, better cry, because here we go.
The main board depicts the land of Custodia. It consists of 3 districts with several locations in each. So we have the land of suffering, marked with square numbered frames. There is the city of churches, numbers in golden ecliptical frames, and the underground is marked with a hexagonal frame. During the course of the game, we'll select tokens with location numbers from a bag to signify tasks that can be performed in a given location or to indicate where a creature will move. Custodia is a dark world where sinners roam, affected by the curse of a miracle and transformed into beasts and some weird creatures. Us, players, in addition to the enemies in this game, will be interested in various locations. In them, we can perform collection actions, which is always described at the bottom of location space. And here, as you can see, we have various options, from healing ourselves to buying a bed and spending tears for that, or for example, raising the favor level or other attributes. So walking around the locations, we will also complete tasks. Their cards are placed in the top of the board. They specify what exactly each quest consists of. Often they will be attribute tests or defeating some monster. If we complete a quest, we mark it by placing our range cubes in the holes in the board below the card. Each mission card indicates how many we needed to complete the task. Before I introduce you to what the gameplay is all about, take a look at the character board. Each player can choose one of 3 versions of the same character. Each of them has a different set of special abilities and different resistance stats. As you can see, the shield branches into resistance to 5 different types of attacks. Physical attacks, the second is a magic attacks, another attacks from fire, toxic attacks and electric attacks. Higher up, we have specific attribute values such as strength, agility, and cunning that will be needed for testing. This can be modified through vestige cards. These cards come in 3 types: prayer cards, dead cards, and ability cards. It is through them that you can develop your hero. You can buy these cards during gameplay, for example by performing a collection action in certain locations, and here you will buy these cards at a discount 1 tiers, or, for example, acquire them as a reward for defeating opponents. However, after acquiring these cards, you place them on the left side of the character boards, thus developing your hero. The ability cards will allow you to upgrade your attack dice, that is, replace the walls of the dice thanks to the system of detaching them from the dice. It's a really cool solution, but let's move on. Returning to the character stats, each character has 3 tracks: a level of favor, health points, and tiers of atonement. With tiers, you will buy more vestige cards, developing your character. Favor will be needed for you to use the effects from your prayer cards. And each time you receive a wound, you lower the life level of your Penitent. When the marker reaches the end of this track, the character dies, but don't worry, it's reborn with full health. Remember that he must draw a guild token. Each such token lowers the character's stats and score on the attack dice by 1. So guilds should be disposed of as soon as possible, for example, in one of the locations. Turn back to the player board. At the bottom of the character board is the Destiny track, which resets your dice roll results during exploration action. Next to it is a pain track. When reaching the maximum, 3 points, You will reset, and after that you can either select a personal quest card or choose a vestige card and develop your hero. Finally, the track of whispers, which are essential for discovering the secrets of this dark land and for fighting Nemesis. About combat I will tell you more in a moment. Now listen an outline of the gameplay. The rules of the round are simple. In the down phase, players play their turns clockwise. Then you move to the sunset phase, which is the consideration of the pilgrim card. It will determine the behavior of the creatures on the map. So within a turn, each player must perform one of the 3 mandatory actions. In addition, he can perform any number of optional actions such as moving, collecting or undertaking missions. So within the mandatory actions, if you are in area with an opponent, you must fight him. I will describe this in a few moments. The next mandatory action is dash. What you can do under it is determined by the pilgrim card. And the last of the mandatory action is exploration. You can only perform it in a safe location, I mean without enemies. So let me start with exploration. Now look what it consists of. You roll the d10 and d100 dice and add up the results with your character's destination level. Now, another player reach for the booklet and read the corresponding paragraph. You find out what awaits you, make a choice and perform the corresponding test. So test, you will be doing a lot of them in this board game. There are all sorts of attribute tests and combat dice. So how do you perform them? If you are testing an attribute, check what the current level of the attribute you are testing is. Add or subtract any modification and roll the d10 dice. If the result is equal to or less than the level of the test, congratulations, you have passed. Now you collect the rewards, that is, you rise the level of destiny, most often the level of Tears of Atonement, sometimes other attributes. If you fail, apply the penalties indicated with the test. Here you will gain destiny too, but much less than with success, and damage from a particular type of attack. So let's move on to attacks. The cards of enemies we can encounter in the world of Custodia are displayed on the track on the board of Miracle. On them you will find all the necessary enemy statistics. Below lays a vestige card, which is an additional reward for defeating a particular creature. During the confrontation with Nemesis, you will move to the arena where the boss battle will take place. I will show you this a little later. Let's deal with lower level enemies such as the Flagellant, half-naked maiden with a shield or such guys with bells, Cymbalillo or a Squillion. Weird creatures from the equal weird world of this game. As you can see, the enemies have double-sided cards. The red side illustrates the more challenging form of them, so to beginning is better to reach for the basic one. So what we have here? The level of the enemy, the symbol in the upper left corner. On the top right is the reward, but of course first this creature must be defeated. In the middle of the card is the effect of the creature's revenge. Symbols of the left side on the card determine the level of rage of the creature, which activate under certain circumstances. And what is most important for us is the passive effect and the sequence of symbols we need to have to defeat this enemy. In other words, what results on our attack dice we need to roll to defeat this creature. Below that is the sequence of its counterattack in the situation when we fail to kill it and give us back. Importantly, we can neutralize the counterattack if we roll the symbols indicated here on the attack dice and when we are immune to the type of attack. So, for example, to defeat the Shield Maiden, I need to roll on the attack dice minimum 1, 2 and the shoe symbol, or have modifiers to the result of the roll. Now let's deal with Nemesis. So when a confrontation occurs, the fight moves from the Custodia board to the arena. Here, the players first chooses a position for the Penitent, in the arena. This is done blindly, before selecting a combat card. So next, reveal the combat card. As you can see, there is a diagram of the arena on it with an indication of the various space effects. So if this layout of the battle map is not good for you, you can make a dodge and discard this card and select a new one. But remember that you will then suffer the revenge effect indicated in the upper corner of the combat card. So after selecting a combat card, you place the Nemesis miniature on the space designated for the enemy. Now the player, as a tactical decision, can move his miniature to a space connected to his current location if he thinks that this space is better because, for example, it provides +1 to defense. Remember that for every node you move your Penitent to, you will receive -1 penalty to all your stats. So before you roll the attack dice and the battle against Nemesis begins, you will face some important tactical decisions related to your deployment in the battle arena. The rest of the attack of Nemesis proceeds in the same way as when fighting creatures on the map board. So you roll the attack dice. Remember to apply reinforcement and penalties, that is, modifications of the results. Then you consider whether you manage to get the required values to defeat Nemesis. As a reward for success, you take a combat card. Now you know the rules of playing the Blasphemous game in a board game version.
So guys, if you want to face these dark creatures, use your sword, mea culpa, and discover some secrets of Custodia. As I mentioned, I leave a link to the campaign of this board game version, Blasphemous, in the description below. For today, thank you very much, thank you for your time, thank you for watching. I hope you like it. If so, it will be really great if you leave a like and maybe write some comments in the comment section below, and see you soon in the next video. Bye!